What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be looking at my Balisong collection. I've been collecting for maybe just a little bit over 5 months since I started going back over my YouTube channel. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into them. So first knife I have here is the Benchmade Model 85. I've had this one for about a month and a half now. I should have posted the review on this a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this has definitely been one of my go-to flippers for the past month or so. That's not necessarily meaning it's my favorite. I do like how this flips, but overall I do think it's overpriced. And one thing you're going to see with me is that's kind of a trend, just because Balisongs are pretty expensive. So BM85, which was new, it's like $550. I got it on secondary market for around $400. Alright. Up next is my Alpha Beast alt blade. This is a 3.0. I actually bought this from the BRS website. I've had this now for 4 months, and overall, this is probably still my favorite flipper. This is the sandwich construction. It's not a chab. It's probably my favorite flipper just because it's the one I flip the most. I've had it for the longest out of all these, besides one other one, which we'll get to that. But yeah, I think where I flip this thing the most, it's the one I'm just used to, and the balances feel the most natural. So yeah, there's my Alpha Beast alt. Moving on, one of the newer ones. I've had this for maybe 2 months now. I've had it for 2 or 3 weeks longer than the 85, and I got this mainly just because I like the way they look. I've always kind of liked the Kukri Alpha Beast, so whenever they released a drop of the premium Kukris, which premium, if you guys don't know, just means that most of the time it's going to be anodized, it's going to have a pocket clip, and it's going to have some sort of special blade, whether it's the Kukri, an acid wash. It can be a number of things. It can be a regular blade, but most of the time they're going to have some sort of special blade with them. I am a fan of the Kukri, however, it's its own flipper. I will say it's definitely not as good of a flipper as the alt, but if you guys are wanting to get one of these, I'm not going to discourage you guys from doing it. The one I got, the tolerances on it are awesome. It has no tap, next to no play, a little bit of flex, but no play. And overall, even though it's not a good flipper, I still really like this knife. Not too sure if I mentioned it, but on Alpha Beast I paid $380 for that because I actually got it from BRS. This I got from Blade HQ, and I want to say I paid $420 for it. So far, this is the only knife I've gotten on the secondary market. These two are from the actual manufacturer. Moving on is the Lucha. I have a tendency to call this the Lucha, so if I do, just ignore it. I actually haven't flipped this knife that much, just because I've been going over kind of more higher end Balisongs, and I've been wanting to switch out my fly tie handles on this. I do have fly tie handles, however, I bought this from Chicago Knife Works because they have them on sale for like $100 rather than, I believe it's $110, $120. And I stripped the screws, and I just got pissed off at that and kind of put it down and haven't flipped it much since. This seems like it would be a very good EDC, but as far as a flipper, until I can get this latch off, flip it latchless for a couple weeks, because with the latch on, it's just, you can't really flip it, it's super awkward. But once I get that latch off, able to flip it for a couple weeks, I can make a review, and then I'll put the fly tie handles on it and then make another review. But until then, my opinion on this is going to be pretty basic. Flipping, I can't really say anything on. However, EDC, it does have a stonewash finish blade, so that's going to hide imperfections. And for $100, I mean, it is a bearing design too, so $100 bearings, I mean, at that price point, it's kind of hard to beat. So yeah, there's that. The order I'm laying these aren't necessarily the order of my favorites. They're just whatever order I'm grabbing them. So the next is the one I've had the longest, which is actually an OG BB Barfly. I had this like probably back in 2013 before I revamped this channel back in 2020. So I've actually had this one, I've actually had this one for a number of years. It's decent. I want to say I got it for like 20 bucks. Plenty of tap, plenty of play. Not really much to say on this one other than just kind of a keepsake because I've had it for so long. Moving on, I have a Mako V3. I do like this thing a lot. I think this is probably my favorite trainer. I do have a Sahara glider, which I meant to do a review on months ago. Stuff came up, never did it. The hardware on this is black, however it does tend to rub off pretty quick and become silver. This is sandblasted, but the way they sandblasted it, it's pretty porous, so it'll collect a lot of dirt and it can start to look pretty dirty, especially the safe handle. But I actually like the Mako quite a bit. The play's not too bad. Little bit of tap, not much for a $70 Balisong trainer. It definitely flips better than the BB Barfly. Can't go wrong with it. Have not flipped BB Barfly Pro. BB Barfly Pro. There we go. Moving on. This is the newest knife I got. Ooh, the Kraken V2. Let me clean out this blade real quick because that's going to bug me. It has fingerprints. This thing is super hyped up. Anyone in the Balisong market knows that if you go on Instagram, you're going to find 6 people finding this before, or 6 people wanting to trade or sell for it. Trade or buy it. There we go. Probably 9 times out of 10 you're going to see one of these every single time you get on. Whether it's going to be someone trying to buy it, sell one, whatever you may have it. Normally they're price gouged. I got this from the actual manufacturer on Blade HQ. Overall, I do really like it. It's definitely one of the more crisp Balisongs. I can see why people go crazy for it. I'm going to stick to my guns on this. However, it's still an aluminum handle, and it is more fragile than the titanium handles. I would really like for them to make this in a titanium. But this is probably my second favorite, next to my alt, Alpha Beast. Moving on, we have something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but I'm still going to talk about it. Is a Fong Alpha Beast clone. I got this maybe 16 months ago. I've had this for a long time. You guys can see the anodization. It's kind of wore off in certain areas, just where I have kind of treated this as a beater. I'm not going to talk too much on this one. Here's the tap. It does have a small amount of tap. Here's the play. And that's all I'm going to say about this before someone tries to kill me in the comment section. And last but not least, we have one that I actually bought solely for, get out of here, fly. Solely for the reason of collecting, which is a Bradley Chimera, forgive me, but it's either a 5 or a 7. I bought this for $150 off of Jersey, and the only reason why I bought this was because it was mint. And it's still mint, but it's one of the limited chrome ones. Whenever I was first getting into Balisongs, the Chimera 5 was still in production, and you could get them for around $100. I didn't have the money to get it, nor did I have the money to get a Benchmade Model 51. But I ended up buying both, and I decided to keep this one over the 51, and I bought them here recently. Bought the Blade HQ 51, which I kind of regret selling just because it had the blue scales, but it is what it is. Yeah, other than that, that is my current Balisong collection. If you guys have any other questions, comments, snide remarks, anything you guys would like to add, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Other than that, you guys take it easy.